This is a video of Timothy the Tattoo Man, who says that even Verdansk may not convince him to return to Warzone.
Wow.
Will I go back and play Verdansk? I probably will, but I don't see myself going back for more than a stream or two, candidly. I mean, right now, because I have Marvel Rivals. You see this? You see what I have over here? I have a brand new game that is trending with very good updates, constant updates already, and it's being done well. This is really good. Do you see this? This is bad. This is bad. This is good. We love this. We don't like this. I want to make something very clear. I want Call of Duty to be dope, bro. Playing Verdansk in its prime, those are the good old days. I'll say too, I think Marvel right now for me, this is going to be a point we look back and was like, yeah, that was a good glory day. You know, I'm not that excited for Verdansk to come back. I'm more excited for I like Marvel. I don't know. I'll say this, man. I'm streaming Marvel Rivals right now, like 12 to 14 hours, like it's nothing. Like it's nothing. I'm just going. And I guarantee I can't play 10 hours of Verdansk in one day. I mean, hell, even 4 to 5.
And that's the tweet. That's the video. I mean, yeah, this is something we've been saying, and I've been using specifically that example, Marvel Rivals, for a reason. A lot of people, that exact thing happens to. And a lot of big streamers whose clout would have otherwise helped carry the game. They got off Warzone because somewhere along the way, whether it was Warzone 2 or BO6 integration or Caldera or whatever, they were like, oh, f this, I'm out of here. And then, assuming season 3 with Verdansk is perfect, they're gonna be like, okay, yeah, that was kind of fun, but I had a good game, and then I ran into TTV Grits, who has 800 billion wins, who did 8 recons and zoned me in the final circle. He also had every mechanic known perfectly, perfect information, slide canceling I haven't played in 4 years, and I'm almost, whatever, top 300 in Marvel Rivals. I'm done. Oh, and I don't have my gun leveled. Oh, and there's someone under the map sniping me. I'm done. I'm done. I'm playing Marvel Rivals now. Obviously, people move on. People move on. And even again, if the season is perfect and Verdansk is really great, not buggy, not that many cheaters, weapon balance is fun and good, is it going to be enough to bring people who had quit back for a while? I just don't think so. I think if it was perfect, it'll keep them around for maybe, it depends too though. Here's the thing about it. Depends on what their friends do. If someone plays these games by themselves and they have fun with it when Verdansk comes back, they might actually get roped in for a long time.
Yeah.
But if they have friends who are, for example, totally random example, playing Valorant now, doesn't matter how much fun they have when they come back for Verdansk for a sesh or two. All their little friends are still playing Valorant. So unless all their friends come with them back to Call of Duty, back to Warzone, they're going to go play with their friends again, playing Valorant or whatever. Because again, they've moved on. So like, and this is best case scenario assumption. There aren't going to be that many people that come back and stick. Day one's going to have nuts player count. 100%, it's going to be nuts. Day 10, an uptick if it's good. Probably pretty not so much if it's bad, which is probably going to be. But that's the thing. Like, people move on. Doesn't matter how good it is. It's going to be very hard to keep people around.
And again, you keep a lot more players around if you decide to unlock everything going into Verdansk.
True.
Then players can casually come and go as they want. Like,
true.
Like a totally random example, but maybe if you had a friend that now plays Valorant and doesn't play with you guys anymore, he doesn't play the games you play anymore,
and he's balding,
moved on, and he has a new friend group and he plays Valorant and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Is he likely? So that random person might come back and play with us on launch. He'll have an okay time. If everything's locked for him and we have to like drop him guns and buy him things, it's not going to be the same.
True.
After that session, he's going to go back, play Valorant with his friends. He's going to come back to Verdansk maybe once more, deal with it again, have no perks unlocked, have nothing meta. He's gone again. And he's probably not coming back. If that random person, totally random person, has everything unlocked, the chances of him coming and staying periodically, he's never going to be a COD main again. That random person's just not going to be a COD main ever again.
Yeah.
But if everything's unlocked, it's so easy for that person to come and go as they please.
Yeah. True.
Just hop on randomly, choose whatever you want, play the game, hop off. That's what they have to do this. They have to do this or they're not going to succeed. And the chances of them doing this, I think, are very, very low, nearly impossible. I don't think they're going to do it.
I think they might try to do it. I think the odds are actually higher than I would normally say because they're in dire straits right now and they know that. So like normally I would say they're never doing this, but they need this badly. So I think they're going to be willing to do things they would otherwise not be willing to. JKN said JGod's idea was to make the default loadouts meta builds, and I thought it was very smart.
That makes sense. That's one way around it.
That's a decent way. The problem with that, of course, is that the devs would have to know what they're doing to do that. So
and they'd have to keep that updated, and they wouldn't.
A dev meta loadout would be like Mountaineer, Overkill, and like, I don't know, reactive armor with some dumb gun, like maybe the right guns, like a Cypher, but it has 5 attachments and it has like a 4x on it. Or something. Like, I don't have faith in the devs to actually build a correct meta loadout. That would be the problem with that. I think another maybe smarter way would be like, you know how you get those free gifts in the store every day and it's like a 1 minute of double character XP?
Yeah.
It put in there on do it like every day for like the first 2 weeks of Verdansk. If you are on the game, you go to the store and you could claim your free like welcome back to Verdansk bundle. And it just has in it weapon blueprints for all of the meta guns. So it'll be the Growl, the HDR, the whatever other guns they bring back on day 1 of season 3. And have the blueprints have good attachments on them, or at least do their best. They're not going to be perfect, but they'll be close enough. And then that way you can at least also start leveling the gun up right away, and then you could put your own perks and shit. I think that would be a good idea as well. But there are a lot of ways around this problem.
And they might be having something like that because Reality UK had actually tweeted on March 1st that it looks like they're bringing back the daily login rewards for season 3. And he posted a screenshot of those daily login rewards we used to have where like when you would log in one day to get this, if you do it for 7 consecutive days, then you get something even better, which I don't remember what it was. So maybe they do something like that. Maybe they almost make a reward tied to gameplay. It's like play Warzone for 1 hour and you unlock the HDR. Play Warzone for 3 hours, you unlock the Growl, stuff like that. So there are a lot of ways they could do it besides literally just everyone logging in and having every single item fully unlocked. And since they have this whole prestige system and everything, I guess you almost have to tie it to something else, rather than just fully unlocking it. So yeah, maybe they will. But yeah, JGod's idea, I didn't know he said that. That is a good idea to make default loadouts some meta builds. But once we get to Season Reloaded, if they actually do weapon balancing and the things change, guess what they're going to forget to change? Any of those meta loadouts. They're going to gut the Cypher. Actually, they're going to gut the Cypher on the launch of Season 3 when they add in these default meta loadouts. They created the loadout in Season 2. That gun's going to be torched, and they didn't update it. So cool. Now all the new players are going to be using a gun that's terrible, probably.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they don't think about those things.
Right. Yeah. It actually wouldn't.
They just have to. They have to do something like this to allow players to get guns and perks easily and quickly. They have to, or the game's dead.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. They do. You know what else they have to do is get one consultant that plays the game one time. Like, they really just have to, because they just don't know. Weibo with the $5 super chat. Let's go. Very long time listener pod. Not very active on chat, so take my money. I will do that. Thank you, Weibo, for the super chat. Much appreciated. Yeah. Look, it's delayed. That's kind of it for the episode today. We have some announcements, but on this topic again, I mean, it's delayed. We'll see how much that's going to matter. I would not have your hopes very high. As far as we are concerned, people who already play the game, it's going to be fun because everything's going to be very different. 150 players still, no more balloons supposedly, buffed sniping supposedly, no more gulag kits and tokens, so your life's going to matter more supposedly. Vehicles are going to be way better like they used to be. So a lot is going to be very different. And if you've been playing Warzone a lot, it's going to be fun because it's going to be so different. The question is just going to be how buggy is it and how many cheaters are there? Because a lot of people are going to want to start cheating in the game when Verdansk comes back. But how will this launch be for people like Tim the Tatman who haven't played in years? That's the more important question. It's not more important for any of you listening because it's not really going to apply to you. But it is important for you guys because the more players that are playing the game, the better it is for everyone. That means you have less sweats in your lobbies. It means they have more money to update the game more, whatever. So it indirectly is very impactful to you. And that is going to be, I think, the big question. Because the reality is, if you've been playing Warzone since the integration, you're not going anywhere. They have you, and they know that. So whether the launch is done really well or really poorly, you're still going to be playing. They know that. So you don't really matter that much. The question, and therefore, the player count is not going to change very substantially if this launch is a disaster. It's going to be about the same because it can't get much worse. The only people left playing Warzone right now are very hardcore players. So if the launch is bad or really bad, which I'm honestly expecting it to be, then the player count's going to be about the same. They're not going to lose more players. But that will be really bad. If they don't gain more players, that's going to be really rough. So they do need to do a lot for the new frogs. The game has to be functional and they have to be able to keep up. So SPMM is going to also be giga cranked. That's another thing too. And you know what they might do also is force returning players or new players into the boot camp mode. So instead of just allowing them to play Warzone boot camp or whatever, it might not be exactly like how Warzone boot camp is now, but they'll be like, no, you have to play it 10 times before you can play BR. They might do something like that. There's a lot of things they could do. We'll see if they do any of them. I don't know.
Yeah. Do you think, by the way, the player counts from Verdansk, early on, day 1, 2, 3, the first weekend, do you think we see anything close to the peak numbers we had during Warzone 2 or a game integration or no? Like BO6 integration on Steam, the peak players were around 200,000 to 300,000. Do you think we see anything like that close to it, or do you think it's much, much lower than that?
I think it's definitely going to be lower. I don't know how much lower, but when Warzone 2 launched, the hype was nuts because we had never had a new Warzone before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was Infinity Ward's return too. and everyone loved Infinity Ward back then for some reason. I didn't. So people were extremely excited because they were like, man, I've been liking Warzone for the past 2 years, whatever, but I'm really ready for like Warzone 2. That's going to be so fun. Boy, were they fucking wrong, obviously. Yeah. But I think the hype for that is even higher than like, oh, we get to play on the map, Verdansk. And like some new gun skins come out. I don't think the hype is there for that. I think it's going to be pretty hype, and I think the player numbers are going to be pretty fucking high. Like certainly 100K plus on Steam, easily. On that day one of season 3. But it's not going to pass peak Warzone 2 numbers now. Because like those, it's also been so much longer now. Like people have just moved on, man.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
You've lost them for too long.
Yeah, exactly. So.
Yeah, peak got Warzone 2 was crazy. Almost 500,000 peak on Steam at one point. That was nuts.
Insane. Yeah.
All for everyone to play it one time, and then immediately 200,000 people stopped playing it less than a week later. Yeah.
Yeah. For great reason.
They really just, God.
We
it's
would
sad,
be,
man. They
I
really
know, dude.
just,
like you said, we would be
Warzone
so much
for
better
a long
off.
time because of that.
Yep. We would be so much better off if it weren't for Warzone 2, actually. Because they wasted all the time developing all that shit, and it was terrible. And then when they could have been developing something decent or good, and then they also had to waste even more extra time reverting all that shit. It's like we just lost a year in a black hole of development time we could have had toward actually improving the game. And then also we lost so many players that are never coming back because of that.
We had a year of it being
just, yeah.
We had a year of it being terrible in Warzone 2. We had a full year of them improving it substantially in Modern Warfare 3. And then we get it ruined again in BO6. With bugs this time. Not directly just gameplay, just a ton of bugs that they couldn't fix, yeah.
Yep.
Oh, such a bad cycle, man. But yeah, it's just gonna be interesting because we've never had a big map come not with a game integration like this. So very interested to see what the player counts will be. If it'll be anything close to a title launch, if it'll barely change the outcome at all. So gonna be interesting.
Yeah. We'll see for sure. All of that said, I'm excited for season 3, man. The 2-week delay has me thinking we're going to be getting even more than what's been leaked. Not like a ton more or anything, but like there's going to be maybe some little event or some like more new goodies for the returning players or new players. I don't really know, but I mean, with how little we've gotten in season 2, in theory, there should be a lot. So I'm excited, whatever the case may be. I'm really excited, actually. It's going to be fun, and it's going to be nostalgic. And it's going to be a mess, too. It's going to be a fun and exciting mess. I'll be very tired of it after a week, but...
Oh, you'll hate it, yeah.
That week is going to be glorious.